Hey guys, this is the Group 3 Best in Marketing project. For our company, we have Nike, so let's just get right into the video. So here's some background information on the company. Nike was founded in 1964, and they have went on to become a very successful athletic apparel company. As of the beginning of the year, they were worth $15.9 billion, which is huge. So their mission is to support athletes and lift them up to reach their fullest potential by providing them with high-quality athletic gear. Their mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. This statement is really diverse. It shows that their products are for everybody. Everybody with a body is an athlete. And they're actually very well known for their promotion of diversity in their models, the athletes that they sponsor, their products, and especially in their marketing and their advertisements. Nike's marketing is really unique and something really different than a lot of other companies do. Instead of just presenting a product and the reasons to buy it like a lot of other companies do, they take a completely different approach. They do narratives and stories in their advertisements. They tell stories of people and inspire. So their ads are definitely really special. And like I said earlier, they promote diversity in their advertisements. In 1995, they had an ad called If You Let Me Play, which featured a bunch of young women who were athletes, and they talked about if you let me play then, and they gave a bunch of different statistics about the benefits of letting women do sports. So by using the storytelling and narrative approach, their marketing appeals to a lot of emotions and needs that customers are looking for their answers to. So they definitely appeal to emotions. I know that the If You Let Me Play ad definitely invoked an emotional response, especially in women. So they have a really well-known slogan that's just do it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it. That slogan was coined in 1988, and it was a really funny commercial. It was of this really old man who runs 17 miles every single day across the Golden Gate Bridge, and it had a funny punchline, and at the very end it said, just do it. And the feeling that that advertisement brings is the feeling of, wow, well, this really old dude that leaves his teeth in the locker so his teeth don't chatter, this guy can run 17 miles a day. I can run too. I can do this too. So the slogan of just do it, it invokes a feeling of competitiveness in us almost, like inspiration and motivation to go out, and it really complements the athletes representing the brand because they're just doing it too. They're doing a lot of amazing things, and Nike with their marketing makes us feel like we can do the things too. So it's really powerful. So for their SWOT analysis, we identified some key strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the Nike brand. So for Nike's strengths, they have a huge customer base. There's two different groups of Nike shoppers that I've seen. One of the customer bases is the athletes and people who wear their clothes and use their shoes to work out in. So runners, athletes, stuff like that. And then another base is the people who wear their clothes and shoes for fashion. There's websites like StockX who have different Nike shoes that people wear to be more fashionable instead of wearing it for performance. They have a lot of brand loyalty. A lot of people that wear Nike stay loyal to it. And they also have a lot of good relationships with celebrities and athletes. They sponsor Olympic athletes, celebrities, all kinds of athletes. So they have a huge name to them. They are one of the most well-known athletic brands because of how much sponsoring they do, how iconic their ads are, how different they are. So that's one of their biggest strengths is the brand recognition, the brand loyalty. There's just a lot of that in Nike. So for their weaknesses, Nike has poor labor conditions in their factories. They outsource to China for their manufacturing, and I'll get more into that later, but it's pretty bad. They also greenwash. They have claims to have a sustainable line that's eco-friendly with recycled materials, but in practice, it's really not that sustainable. And they also have a lot of sexual harassment lawsuits against some of their top male executives. So for their opportunities, Nike has the opportunity to improve their work conditions for their manufacturers and for the women who work at the company. They can also uphold their green goals and create less carbon emissions while practicing true sustainability. Further threats. There is an increase of athletic apparel companies that have a lower price point, and that's going to create a lot of competition for them. Also, there is an increasing number of people in today's market that really care about the environment and sustainability, eco-friendly products. And so if people see the contradictions that Nike's making about their sustainability things, they might stop buying from Nike or boycott against Nike, because there have been boycotts in the past. Here's Nike's key issues. One of their biggest issues is its labor conditions in China. Since they outsource, their manufacturers are in China, and there's not very good working conditions over there. So one of their biggest factories that partners with Nike is called the Taekwang factory, and they partnered with forced labor programs of the Chinese government that is linked to crimes against humanity. So their labor conditions are no joke. Like, this is some really bad stuff that is happening over there. It's forced labor, sweatshops, stuff like that. It's not good. Another issue that they have is that of greenwashing. So Nike says that they're going to eliminate their carbon emissions, but it's not really happening very much. The biggest thing that they're doing is marketing their products as sustainable. They use recycled polyester and nylon, but those actually aren't sustainable because they're not biodegradable. So you could say that because it's recycled, it's better than just making new polyester, but it's not biodegradable, and therefore it's not sustainable, because even though it's recycled polyester, it's still plastic. So one of Nike's biggest issues is sexual harassment. There is a lot of lawsuits against Nike right now that claim sexist work environments, bullying, and harassment towards their female employees. A lot of these lawsuits are taking place or have already been resolved, but one lawsuit has 5,000 pages of records, which is a lot. So as much as Nike loves to empower women in their ads, it's not a good environment for women in the workplace. There have been instances where female employees have been told to show more skin, dress sexier, and there have also been instances where high-level executives would come on to their female workers, harass them, and then when they complained, their complaints were just ignored. So one thing Nike could do is just keep doing what they're doing, stay the course. They're already making changes for environmental sustainability to their packaging and their clothing. They have a goal to not have any hazardous chemicals by 2025. They now have packaging that cuts down on carbon and non-recyclable materials, so they are doing things for environmental sustainability. They also have statements on their website about forced labor. It describes how they audit these factories to make sure that the employees have their human rights being adhered to. They also use tools to ensure gender equality is being shown at all levels in the organization. So since these lawsuits have come out, they have kind of stepped it up and shown more care about these types of things. So in our alternative courses of action, we have different things that they could do to improve their company. So one thing that they could do is improve their labor conditions. They could also go green and use truly biodegradable fibers, and they could also do different training and better management to make sure that the workplace is safe for women. So for improving their labor conditions. So getting new factories in China or even outsourcing it to a different place would make sure that these people's human rights are not being violated. It would improve the work production, but it would also get new customers who value cruelty-free products. There have been boycotts of Nike in the past, as you can see in this picture, and ensuring that the factories that manufacture their shoes are good places that don't exploit the human rights of their workers could gain them a lot of new customers and people who have this newfound support for the brand. So the costs of improving factories may be expensive, but the payoff would be worth it. They have the resources to be able to do it, and they would get more customers from doing so.
Another thing that Nike could do is to truly go green. By using biodegradable fibers and promoting true sustainability, the accusations and even the lawsuit of Nike greenwashing would be completely eliminated. By using these biodegradable fibers in favor of recycled polyester and nylon, the materials would be truly sustainable, because even though it is recycled polyester, it still lasts a long time in these landfills. People who favor natural fibers over these plastic materials would become potential customers. Recently, there has been a huge rise of people not buying polyester clothing. Some of these people choose not to buy it because of sustainability reasons, but there's also been new research showing that polyester and other plastic materials are really bad for our health, our skin, and our body. So, by making a truly sustainable line of clothing that uses organic materials instead of polyester, they would get a huge rise in customers from not only the sustainability crowd, but also the health crowd. Also, by improving their packaging and production process, their carbon emissions would continue to lower, getting them closer towards their 2025 goal of eliminating harmful chemicals. And they also have a goal of becoming completely carbon neutral by 2050. So, by improving their manufacturing processes and going green, they would reach more customers, but also reach the goals that they have been setting for themselves in terms of sustainability.
Workplace safety for women. So, a big thing that I think they need to do is improve the work conditions of women. Have DEI programs. Take these allegations seriously. Do not tolerate a culture of men harassing women in the workplace. If they can improve these working environments for women and market their dedication to women's rights, then they would get more female customer attraction. There is a huge feminist movement right now, especially in marketing, and if they start taking these accusations seriously and holding their male employees and other employees who are harassing these female employees seriously, then they would get a lot of support and potential new customers. So here is the second SWOT analysis we did if they were to take these courses of action. So their strengths would be improved labor conditions, no more human rights violations in China. They would have proven the measures taken to go green, which would attract a lot of customers, and have a stronger female following from improved female work conditions. I think that this would attract a lot more customers and give them more profit in the long run. So their weaknesses would be a higher cost of production. So spending more money on improving the labor conditions and going green would definitely be a weakness. It does cost more money to outsource to a different place other than China, but they don't necessarily have to just take it out of China. They could do different factories in China that have genuine audits and make sure that the workers are being treated fairly. Another thing with this cost is it does cost more for organic fibers like cotton or modal than polyester. It costs more to make, so they'd probably have to increase their prices in order to keep a good margin. The changes could also be in the quality of clothing from the fiber changes. So a lot of athletic brands use plastic fibers to make their clothes because it does have more of a stretch. It's more sweat wicking. So if they start using more cotton products for their athletic clothes, it may not go over well because the quality of the clothing will be changed. It won't be as good for sweat wicking and it won't be as stretchy. So some opportunities. They could do more feminist campaigns to build female brand loyalty. A lot of women have moved away from buying Nike because of these lawsuits coming out. So if they show that they have done these things to improve work conditions for women, they could absolutely build brand loyalty for women. Like, they made these changes. They took it seriously. They could do campaigns off of this and get a lot more customers. They could also continue to be sustainable while finding ways to innovate and maintain the Nike image. They can innovate, they can make new clothing, and they can still be sustainable while doing so. So some of their threats are cheaper athletic wear will still be a competition for Nike. If they switch to these more organic fibers, then they'd have to raise their prices, and cheaper athletic wear, people that don't favor organic materials, they might prefer those over Nike's new clothes. And there's also some trade tensions between China and the US that could affect manufacturing. Relations between China and the US aren't the best right now, and if they get worse, it could affect their factories. These are our references. I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation on Best in Marketing of Nike, and I will see you guys later.